Have you ever imagined a corpse standing up in the middle of the night, eyes wide open and lifeless, arms stretched straight forward, and step by step, slowly hopping toward you? In ancient China, people called this terrifying creature Jiangshi, the hopping vampire. It is neither ghost nor human. It is a corpse that refuses to leave this world, a half-living, half-dead being, filled with endless resentment and hatred that never fades. Legends say that when the full moon shines bright and the yin energy fills the earth, the Jiangshi awakens inside its coffin. The wooden lid creaks open, a cold mist spreads, and a pair of glowing greenish eyes pierces the darkness. Step by step, it hops through the night, searching for the breath of the living, the one thing it craves more than anything else. It sounds unbelievable, but for hundreds of years, the Chinese people have passed down stories of such chilling nights. Today, we will journey deep into the mysterious world of the Jiangshi, the most terrifying walking corpse in Chinese folklore. Brace yourself, because after this video, you may never want to turn off the lights again.
In Chinese, Jiangshi literally means stiff corpse. It is described as having pale green or grayish skin, long sharp nails, fanged teeth, and most distinctively, dressed in the official robe of Qing dynasty bureaucrats. This eerie image gives the creature a strange blend of authority and horror. The Jiangshi does not walk like normal humans. Instead, it hops stiffly because its joints are completely frozen. Its arms stretch forward, ready to seize the soul of anyone who dares to come close. Unlike wandering spirits or ghosts, the Jiangshi has a physical body, with real flesh, nails, and teeth, possessed by a vengeful soul. This makes it far more terrifying than an ordinary ghost, because it exists in the real world. It can touch you. It can attack you, and it can kill you.
The Chinese believed that when a person dies with deep hatred or unbearable pain, their soul cannot leave peacefully. If the body fails to decompose, the lingering soul will return, merging again with the corpse, creating a Jiangshi. Another legend claims that if a black cat jumps over a coffin, the corpse inside will rise as a Jiangshi. Some say that a lightning strike upon a grave could also awaken the dead. According to the ancient Qing scholar Zhi Shaolan in his book Yuwei Kao Tong Biju, Notes from the Cottage of Close Scrutiny, there are two main types of Jiangshi: fresh corpses whose bodies are still intact, and old corpses reanimated by strong yin energy. Folktales also mention dark Taoist priests who used black magic to control the dead, forcing them to walk through mountains to transport bodies back to their hometowns, a practice known as corpse driving. This eerie ritual truly existed, and from it, the legend of the Jiangshi was born. stories describe multiple levels of Jiangshi, from weak to terrifyingly strong. The lowest type is the mindless corpse. It acts purely on instinct, unable to distinguish humans from animals. Once it senses the breath of life, it leaps forward to absorb the living's young energy. The next level is the conscious Jiangshi, a creature that retains some intelligence and can hide or even strategize. The highest level is the Corpse King, a powerful being capable of flying, climbing walls, and commanding other corpses. Villagers used to say that if you ever heard the thumping sound of thud, thud, thud on a full moon night, or smelled a strange, corpse-like odor in the wind, beware, a Jiangshi might be near, and once it catches your breath, it's already too late. A Jiangshi cannot see well in darkness, and it has no real sense of smell, but it can sense the breath of the living. If you hold your breath completely still, it might pass by without noticing you. But if you exhale even once, it will turn its head. Ancient people devised many methods to defend themselves. The most famous was the talisman seal, a yellow paper inscribed with red ink and attached to the Jiangshi's forehead. When the Taoist spell was cast, the Jiangshi would freeze in place. Mirrors were also powerful, since the Jiangshi feared its own reflection. In some regions, people placed garlic, sticky rice, or gold coins around their homes, believing the Jiangshi was repelled by strong yang energy or bright metallic light. In movies, you may have seen Taoist priests tossing charms, chanting spells, or wielding peach-wood swords that emit divine light, all inspired by these real ancient legends from Chinese folklore.
From the 1980s to 1990s, Hong Kong cinema turned the Jiangshi into an iconic figure across Asia. Films like Mr. Vampire and The Shadow Killer transformed ancient fear into a unique mix of horror, comedy, and martial arts. The image of a Taoist priest facing off against a hopping corpse with spells and swords has become legendary, etched into the memories of generations. Beyond mere monsters, Jiangshi also represent a profound spiritual belief, the fear of death, the anxiety that a soul might not rest, and the fragile boundary between the world of the living and the dead. Even today, Jiangshi continue to appear in games, comics, and modern horror films. But no matter how advanced technology becomes, the sight of a corpse in Qing Dynasty robes hopping through the night still sends chills down our spines.
In Jiangshi, a region known as the land of the Jiangshi, there's a tale about a grave robber who dug into an ancient coffin one night. The coffin bore an old Taoist seal, warning not to disturb the dead. Ignoring it, he pried the lid open. A cold wind burst forth, and in an instant, his breath was gone. The next morning, villagers found his body stiff and cold, eyes wide open, nails twice as long. From that day on, no one dared approach the hill again. Some said they could still hear the sound of hopping footsteps and faint laughter echoing from beneath the ground. Another story tells of the corpse drivers of old, men who tied ropes around the bodies of the dead, making them walk upright as they transported them across the mountains. From afar, under moonlight, travelers saw a line of hopping figures. Perhaps that's how the legend spread, a mix of truth and illusion, woven into something that could never be forgotten. If we look deeper, the Jiangshi is more than a horror story. It reflects the ancient Chinese belief in proper burial and peaceful death. They believed every soul needed rest. If denied that, the spirit would wander and harm the living. The Jiangshi symbolizes those restless souls, the unburied, the unjustly killed, the forgotten. In a psychological sense, the Jiangshi also represents our inner fear, fear of the past returning, fear of unresolved guilt, fear of our own shadows. Sometimes the scariest monster doesn't rise from the coffin, it rises from within our minds.
Modern science may explain many mysteries, but the Jiangshi endures because it taps into primal human fear, the fear of death walking among the living. Life and death are meant to stay apart, yet the Jiangshi crosses that line. It exists between two worlds, and that uncertainty keeps haunting us. The Jiangshi is the embodiment of unfinished death, when life refuses to end and death refuses to begin. It reminds us of questions we can never answer. What happens after death? Can the dead truly rest? And if they can't, will they come back for us?
And now, as night truly falls, as moonlight seeps through your window, do you hear something? Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe it's the faint, hopping sound of footsteps coming closer. Ask yourself, if one night you woke up in the dark and saw a figure in old Chinese robes, arms stretched forward, standing silently in the corner, what would you do? Would you dare to look into its eyes, or would you hold your breath, hoping it passes by? Legends are just stories, but fear is always real. The Jiangshi lives not only in tales, but in the minds of those who've heard of it, those who've shivered in the dark, feeling a cold breath crawl down their spine at the very thought of its name. If this story made you tremble, watch it again. Each time, you'll notice a new detail, a breath, a shadow, a whisper, pulling you deeper into the darkness. And if you wish to explore more mysteries and horrors from around the world, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Because here, every video is another journey into the unknown. Thank you for watching until the end. Sleep well, but tonight, if you hear a knock at your door, make sure it's not the Jiangshi calling.